Hey everybody, I just figured I'd come on a minute early just to start getting the alerts out there that I'm about to start our class. I'm so excited to bring this information to you today. And so we're just going to wait a second or two to see who's coming on to see us. Okay, so I'm just going to wait a couple more seconds and we will get started. Anybody that's there, feel free to say hi below so I can know you can hear me well. Hi Donna! Oh, I'm so glad I was able to see that. Swipe left to see your viewers. Swipe left to reveal comments. Hold on. I'm just trying to get through so I can see everybody. I promise you won't have this motion once we get started. Woo! Hey Donna, can you type hi again so I can see if I can see that comment? I cannot. There you go. Yay! All right. Hi Catherine. Thanks for joining us. Hi again. Thank God I have you guys to tell me. All right, so today I'm going to get started. Today we're going to talk about how we can ditch the chemicals and in our life, and how we can try to support our health. And so, do you guys know that the typical person uses 300 chemicals per day? So here we are putting these chemicals onto our skin. And it's estimated that by 8 a.m., a typical female will use over 80 chemicals on their body. And you might say, yeah, that's not me though. But you know what? It's in just about everything. And so I just want to bring our awareness to what we're putting on our body. The skin is actually an organ. The skin is the largest organ in our body. And so when we put lotions and potions on our skin, we're directly absorbing those toxins into our bloodstream. And it can happen very quickly. They say, especially with essential oils, within 26 seconds, you actually have the essential oil in your bloodstream. And certainly, you know, with these other kinds of chemicals, this is true. It's going into your bloodstream very quickly. So I challenge you to take a look at what shampoo you put in your hair. Take a look at the chemicals that are in there, the conditioner, the lotion. I know that we're used to reading about parabens, but there could be other things in there, certain solvents. Take a look at what you're cleaning your house with, wiping your counters off with, putting in your dishwashing soap, what you're washing your clothes with. These are all things that are in our environment, and we just, you know, even if we're buying quote unquote natural, natural doesn't necessarily mean healthy. And so that's a really important point as you're starting to look at what's in your home. And I don't mean to stress you guys out. Like, I don't expect you to change everything in one day. And I certainly didn't change everything in one day. I took one thing at a time and changed it, and then did the next thing, so that I didn't feel as if it was just overwhelming or super expensive to just change my whole house overnight. So today we're going to talk about how essential oils can be a partner in this for you. How you can take the things that you are already buying, and instead of buying the chemicals that you're getting at Target and Walmart, and instead starting to change over to a healthier lifestyle. Because truth is, as survivors, right, We don't want these kind of toxicities in our life, and it's so easy for us to make this switch and really improve our life, and it's one thing that we have control over. And I know, being a survivor myself, anytime I can pick up a little control in my environment and make my life a little healthier, that's an opportunity I'm going to take, because that's something that I can change. And if I can change that, then I'm happy to do so. So what are essential oils? Essential oils are basically the oil that's inside the plant, and it's really the elixir of life for that plant. So the essential oil in the plant is able to repair its tissues. Would you even consider it a tissue? I'm going to say it's a tissue. To repair itself. It's the circulatory system of the plant. It's basically how the plant is getting nutrition, is through its own essential oil. So it helps to heal and repair the plant. So essential oils are essentially distilled from shrubs and flowers and trees and bark and roots and bushes. And so all these essential oils are coming from plant families, and there's over 100 natural organic compounds. So how do we support our body and our brain with essential oils? Well, essential oils have been around for a really long time. Like, there's evidence of them from like 4500 BC. So this is not something new, ladies. This has been around for a long time. And we have known that essential oils can support our circulatory system, our nervous system, our endocrine system. It can support all the systems of the body, and it can also support our emotional health and also reduce stress. And so this is why I wanted to bring this information to you, because how often is there something that can profoundly affect so many systems of the body, but we can also use it for our emotional self. And I know with Healing Boobies, I talked to you guys all about this emotional connection. The truth is there's an emotional connection to illness. And so it's really important for us to get all the tools in the toolbox that we can get to support ourselves through this, right? Okay. So I like to have a chemical-free home. Why? Because I don't want that garbage in my body, right? Listen, we went through, some of us had to do chemotherapy treatments, right? And listen, I drank that Kool-Aid too, because that was the option for me. But now that this is behind me, and for those of you who are in chronic treatment, this is the deal. There are certain toxicities that maybe we just can't get away from. And so if that is your case, then why don't you just think about at least getting rid of the chemicals in the environment that you can change. So one of the natural cleaners that Young Living has is something called Thieves, and I'll give you some more information on the constituents of it. But Thieves is a natural organic cleaner that you can use in your home. And guess what? It's not going to break the bank. A concentrated cleaner you can make a bunch of spray bottles from, and it costs about $1.50 a spray bottle when you break it all out. So I know for me, prior to this, even though I had adopted a chemical-free lifestyle, I was at the health food store or at Whole Foods or at, there's a local Wild by Nature store here, and I would buy Myers or 7th Generation. I would buy all these, and they're phenomenal products, but they're super duper expensive. And when I'm trying to eat organic, and I'm trying to get grass-fed stuff, and I'm trying to really clean up every area of my life, I certainly, when I can save a buck or two using a chemical-free cleaner that I know is, highly non-toxic for my environment, I'm going to do it, because that's the way I'm going to be able to continue to support my family. So anyway, there are over 300 oils on earth, but really we only need about 10 to 20 to make a perfect kit for ourselves. And so today we're going to talk about some of the products that I have in my kit. So everybody wants to know, like, how do I apply these oils? How do I use these? Well, there's 3 main ways that you can use these. You can either rub them on your skin, so that's topically. You can ingest some oils, or you can diffuse them, which I got over here. You see my diffuser going. You can diffuse them, or you can just put them on your hands and inhale them. So there's several different ways that you can use them, and different oils are better in one versus the other, and I can help you figure out what's good for what. So how do they enter our bloodstream? Well, by putting them on your skin, you will absorb them within 26 seconds when you apply them topically. But when you breathe them in, the olfactory system, which is the system that our sense of smell comes in, it has a direct link. It's a very primitive pathway, and it affects a part of the brain called the limbic system. So let me tell you about your limbic system. You know your limbic system pretty well. Why? Because the limbic system, the two things that it tends to, the two emotions that's associated with the limbic system is fear and anxiety. And listen, you haven't stepped your foot in the big C world without feeling those two emotions a few times. So fear and anxiety are big, right? And how great would it be to inhale an oil, which is something I do all the time, so that you can calm that limbic system down. So it happens very, very quickly. So using oils aromatically is something that I use all the time. And I use it to basically set the tone. So for example, when I get home from work at night and my kids are like, Mommy, so excited running around, and I know, sleepy time should be in about an hour, Mama puts in some sleepy time oil so that the kids start to just naturally start to relax. But in the morning, when they don't want to get up for school, I'm putting a little something in their aromatherapy diffusers in their rooms just to start to wake up the brain. So again, that neurological pathway of the sense of smell is really, really primitive, which means it's really direct and it works extremely well. So aromatically is a big thing for me. When you're using certain oils topically, some oils need what's called a carrier oil, and a carrier oil is just an oil that helps the oil get into your system a little bit more effectively. So, for example, it's a larger molecule that helps the oil travel in. There are certain oils also that, because they're so super concentrated, that the only side effect that you can see sometimes with an oil is some people have like a localized reaction. This can, because they're really strong stuff. So this can happen with like an oil like peppermint, for example. So I would always use a carrier oil with those kinds of oils. Carrier oil examples would be olive oil, coconut oil. Young Living makes a carrier oil that you can use. And the great thing about the oils that I'll tell you today is that on the oils, they're specifically labeled 1 drop of oil versus this many drops of carrier oil. So they really take the guesswork out of whether or not you need a carrier oil. If it says neat, that means you can use it directly on the skin with no challenges. And so how long do the essential oils last in our system? Most essential oils last anywhere from 3 to 6 hours in a normal healthy body. So again, essential oil history, it's been around for since 4500 BC. There's been indications of essential oils being used. So there are different grades of oils, and this is like super important. I want to make sure you guys really completely understand this, because the last thing I want is for you to say, hey, Dr. Carey told me to get me some lemon oil, and you go to Marshall's or Amazon and you pick something up that, guess what, it's nice and cheap, but it's most likely, very much likely, not to be a therapeutic grade oil. And so this is important. So we're talking about ditching the chemicals, right? So we don't want to ditch the chemicals and pick up an essential oil that has chemicals in it. So grade A therapeutic is what Young Living uses. And so that is made from organically grown plants, and it's distilled at very low temperatures, okay? Grade B is food grade. Well, guess what? When we get into food grade, we're allowed to add a little pesticide, a little fertilizer, and it's still considered food grade. Yeah, not my food, thank you. Grade C is perfume, and guess what? In grade C, we can start adding some solvents. You know that solvents can be cancerous, right? Do we want those? No, man. And grade D is floral water. This is the water that's left over, the chemicals that are left over. And guess what? If an essential oil bottle has at least 5% essential oil, we're allowed to say, guess what? It's pure. So we don't want that, right? So just so that you're very, very aware, even if you're looking at a label, because remember, there's nobody overseeing this, which is why we have to have a company who's overseeing it for us, right? So if we go ahead and go to Marshall's or any of these places you see these essential oils, they might say pure, they might say natural, but they only need to have 5% of that essential oil in the bottle in order to label it so. So I'm telling you this as a warning, because the last thing I want is for somebody to pick up a bottle somewhere else and say that I said it was a great idea, and it's not at all a good idea. In fact, it could be filled with these solvents. So what's different about Young Living is something called Seed to Seal, and this is really what attracted me to them. You know me, I'm a science gal, and I'm somebody who really wants to be able to say, okay, I stand behind these products because I understand the science behind them and I understand how they're regulated, right? So Seed to Seal means first of all, the seeds are the soil is taken a look at, made sure that there are no chemicals or fertilizers. It's unadulterated soil. And then they handpick the seeds. The seeds are, the best seeds to make the best quality oils, okay? And then you have the cultivation, where they're cultivating these crops. Just so you know, if you ever visit, you'll see weeds growing up, and there's weeds because they're not spraying it with glycophosphates, people, okay? So they're not putting the weed killer on. So you will see weeds in the field, but you want to see that, because if you don't, you start to question what else they've sprayed, right? And then there's the distillation process. So the distillation process, I had no idea it was this, complicated. But there are certain oils that need to be distilled at a certain time in order to have the maximum amount of benefit. So for example, I believe it was cypress oil I was reading about, has to be distilled at the 24th hour. If it's distilled at the 2nd hour or the 27th hour, then you're not going to get all the compounds that you need to get. And so what happens is during their distillation process, they have in-house labs where they distill the oil and they immediately go to the testing section. And if it is the proper, a good sample, and also it has all the constituents that we want for a therapeutic grade, then the crop is harvested, right? And then there's the seal that puts it on top, right? So it's from the farm to your home, and so there's a vigorous testing process. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. If you're going to add essential oils into your life, you need to make sure it's these therapeutic grade essential oils, right? Okay, so can you get oils cheaper? Yeah, but what you're gonna save at Marshall's, you're gonna pay for a different way. And we don't want to pay for it with medical co-payments. We've all been through that jazz. No, thank you. So how oils are made. So it takes a village to get these oils. So 60,000 rose blossoms will provide 1 ounce of rose oil. So lavender is really abundant. 220 pounds will provide 7 pounds of oil. So it's very interesting, the process that this has to go to. But a little bit of oil goes a long way, thankfully. So in the small bottles, that's about 5 milliliters, you're going to get about 80 drops. And in the large bottles, which are 15 milliliters, you're going to get about 250 drops. Good. Okay, so let me move on. So are the oils safe? So I know the question from my ladies out there are going to be 2 things. Now, you have to understand, I have to be compliant with what I say, okay? So I would like you all, because I'm sure you're thinking about frankincense if you read anything on the internet, I want you to go on pubmed.org, and I want you to check out frankincense and breast cancer. Just put those 2 things. I want you to read the research regarding that, and I want you to make your own decision. regarding whether or not you would like to add frankincense to your essential oil collection. I'll tell you this, it's in mine. So that's important for you to take a look and read. The other thing that comes up a lot is, what about lavender? You know, there's studies done that lavender is estrogenic, and there's always this, it could be estrogenic, is the research that's out there. And so for my ladies who have hormone receptor positive cancers, very often they want to know, can I use lavender? And it's a really tricky question. Of course, I'm not your oncologist, so you need to speak to your oncologist to ask them specifically what their feelings are on this and whether or not you can use lavender. But I'll tell you, again, go ahead and do your own research on this. When you look at the study that was done in 2007 on, it was 3 boys, and basically they were using these lavender oils and body washes, and they developed breasts. And so when they discontinued it, the condition went away. And so the study was done saying, okay, well, lavender can certainly spark estrogen. It's an estrogenic oil, and people with hormone receptor, issues, we shouldn't, and little boys, we shouldn't have them use any lavender. The problem is with that study, and I'm used to reading studies, is that we just don't know what else was in these lotions. Was there solvents? I mean, what is it? It's not like it was lavender essential oil, therapeutic grade, created this problem, and when we stopped using it, they didn't have this problem. So it's a difficult call to make. I will tell you that anytime there's a question, I err on the side of caution, and there's 300 essential oils. Hi, Lisa. Glad you're here. I err on the side of caution, and so what I do is I use lavender aromatically. So when I want to go to sleep, I'll diffuse some lavender, and I will say that I do use lavender topically if I ever get a burn, because it can soothe the skin after any kind of hardship. I think that would be FDA compliant. So I like to take the ouchiness out of a burn by using some lavender oil. So that's something that I use. But again, I think this is a great question for you to ask your oncologist. And my 2 cents is, if you are an ER positive girl, then you might want to just diffuse it aromatically if you're concerned. The research is just not strong enough. And so I kind of stay in the court of the jury's out on that. There was one study that showed that when they did it with either mice or rats, it proved not to be estrogenic. So, it's one of those things that I feel like I can't answer for you personally. I can tell you what my experience is and what I do, but it's ultimately up to you and your doctor whether or not you're comfortable using it. Okay. So we spoke a little bit about carrier oils. So where to start? Okay, so I am going to show you this Premier Starter Kit. So this is the way it comes, and just so you guys know, this kit is just phenomenal because what they have in it is really, as I said, you only need between 10 and 20 oils to have a great starter kit. And so Young Living did a great job of making this kit where there's 11 oils, just so that you're aware. And so the Premium Starter Kit is 160. And so I'm going to show you what it comes with and which oils it comes with. Everything's flying all over the place. Okay. So I'm just going to go through these oils and show you. So the first one is, guess what? Frankincense. So frankincense has been shown to smooth the skin. It's also key for neurological health. I also use my frankincense when I'm doing my meditation and my yoga. I just put a drop on my heart and I use it. Frankincense is, one of the oldest oils, right? Good, it was actually, the three wise men, right? One of the gifts was frankincense. So it's been around for a long time. And it has some really amazing properties. Again, I'm going to refer you to PubMed so I can stay compliant on this. PubMed.org, frankincense and breast cancer. Just take a little read and see if you'd like to add this to your collection. Okay, Peppermint is the next one. So peppermint can support digestion, okay? Peppermint is another great thing peppermint's for is critters don't like it. I live close to the woods, so me and critters, no thank you. But peppermint is a scent that they are repelled by. So it's great because you can put a little peppermint on some cotton balls and put them outside in the perimeter of your house, and you can help keep critters away. But it's really good for digestion too, and it's also great to stimulate brain activity. So for those of us who have had a little bit of chemo brain, I'm not saying that this treats chemo brain, I'm just saying that this can help your brain work a little bit better. You'll see some of the oils have these white labels, and what's great about these white labels, I'm going to show you the difference. So there's a white label and a regular color label. The white labels are actually their vitality line, it's called, and what makes this their vitality line is this: you can ingest. So you can ingest this in water, or you can even buy soft gels where you add a couple drops of soft gels and swallow the oils in the vitality line. It helps, the peppermint oil helps to support healthy gut function. So lavender oil is the oil of relaxation, right? It's called the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. And a lot of people use lavender to unwind after a long day. As I said, I use it with my kids to try to wind them down. And you can also use it in a bath if you'd like. Purification. So this is purification, and this is a great one to use when you're trying to eliminate odors. People use it on a cotton ball in a vent in their car or in a hotel room. Let me tell you how I used this week. So I went to a seminar, so I was literally out of my house for 24 hours. And I come home and I open my fridge, and it smelled like someone, I don't know, did some business in the fridge. I mean, my refrigerator stunk to high heaven. I don't know how my husband, who was in and out of it all day, didn't notice the smell. Anyway, so I said, something has died in our fridge. What is inside of this? The response was, I don't know, I couldn't find anything. Anyway, so that's a whole nother story. That's what lavender diffusing can help with. But anyway, I looked through my fridge and I found good old cauliflower rice that was still, believe it or not, in date, but it was just stinky. So I threw it out, but even after I threw it out, you know your fridge still stinks a little bit. So I didn't have any cotton balls. So what I did is I took 2 Q-tips and I put a drop of purification on each of the Q-tips, put them both in my refrigerator, closed the door, said a little essential oil prayer, and when I was done, like another hour later, I opened my fridge, and guess what? The smell was gone. So that's great. So anytime you're cooking broccoli, cooking cauliflower, cooking fish, and you really just want to purify your air, you can put your purification in your diffuser, and it zaps it away. Thieves. So Thieves is one of my favorites. It's actually one of the oils that my very good friend shared with me, and that's what really sold me on Young Living. It helps a healthy respiratory system. It can also help to support your immune system. So when all those bugs are going around, and I think a lot of you ladies know, this fall I suffered. I got a flu. I mean, it was awful. I wish I had this at the time, because Thieves can support your immune system in a pretty strong way. So any single time I feel like there's cooties in my house with my toddlers, I'll put Thieves in the diffuser, and or if the children themselves have cooties, I'll be putting a little Thieves diluted on the bottoms of their feet, right? So there are places that you can topically put your essential oils. People put them behind your ear, on your wrists, on the bottoms of your feet, or just a few places that you can put them. So that is that. Stress Away, which is a bonus oil in the back of your kit, which I'll show you in a moment. Stress Away is one that helps stress go away, right? So it's pretty clear. It's one of the emotional oils. It does have some lavender in it. And it also has vanilla. It's one of the few ones that have vanilla. So again, if you are a ER positive person and you're concerned about lavender, full disclosure, there is some lavender in the Stress Away, so you might choose that aromatically also. So lemon is a good support. It helps to support the immune system, and it also has some really great properties for cleaning. So if there's a stain that you want to get rid of, using some lemon oil can be really helpful with that. Using a little bit of lemon in your bottle of water just really flavors it beautifully. And these lemon oils are coming from the rind of the lemon. It's not coming from the juice, so it's not acidic, it's alkaline. And so I let you know that lemon water can actually make you more alkaline, which is another thing that I know a lot of my community likes to do, is we like to be as alkaline as possible. So that's important for us. One thing I wanted to mention with the lemon water, you want to make sure that you're drinking the lemon water, like if you're putting it in a bottle, that you have a stainless steel bottle or glass. We don't want to put it in plastic because the lemon can cause the icky plastic to, we shouldn't be in plastic bottles anyway. I put that article out for you guys on how they changed BPA-free bottles to BPS, which is more toxic to breast cancer, than the BPA to begin with. So you should all be on glass bottles anyway. So especially if you're adding lemon, make sure that you're using glass bottles. Okay. Copaiba. So this particular oil is really good for wellness. People use it in a tea. They put a little honey in it and a drop. Again, it's the Vitality line. It has that white label so that you know. But it's also known as an oil that enhances other oils. So if you're using it, if you're using an oil like peppermint because you have a bellyache, you might want to use a little bit of this just to enhance the oil. Panaway. Okay, I'm going to show you this. So this Panaway comes like this. Panaway sounds like Panaway, right? That's on purpose. So Panaway is basically very stimulating as a muscle rub for sore muscles. So all my ladies who are on AIs and you're having all the side effects from them, the muscle and the joint pain, it's great to take a drop or two of this and rub it right on. In fact, they actually have some other lotions too if you want to cover more area. But what's great in the starter kit is you do have Panaway so that you can use this to help soothe yourself. And it also helps to support healthy skin. Digize is an oil that can be used to help stimulate normal digestion, so that's something that you can consider. And RC supports a healthy respiratory system. This you can rub on your chest or on your feet. This is one that I use anytime my kids are having any colds, flu, and for myself, colds, flu. I wish I had it back in the fall when anyway, so I'm just glad I got my kit now. Respiratory support, which is really helpful. All right, I think I went through everything, and so it comes in a nice little kit like this. And then in the bottom of the kit, just so you know, they also give you samples of something called Ningxia Red, which is a wolfberry antioxidant. They give you a rollerball, so you can actually take one of your bottles. This is the Stress Away one. Take one of your bottles and make a little rollerball out of it. And they also give you little sample bottles and cards regarding each oil, just in case you want to share this with your friends and family. And, as far as sharing this, for me, sharing it with you ladies is a no-brainer, right? It's a no-brainer because we're all on this path of getting better and staying better and trying to ditch whatever chemicals we can from our lives. So if you want to share this with others, you can certainly do that, and they make that easy for you. I will tell you that I know some of you ladies have, this is kind of a little side note, but I know some of you ladies have expressed to me, wanting to do certain things and just not having the financial abundance to quite do that. And so Young Living does also provide a really amazing support system that if you choose to share this with others, you can actually make a business of this yourself. And as you're sharing this with others, and you can help others have a healthy lifestyle, remove chemicals from their life, and they're buying this stuff anyway. They're just buying the bad stuff, right? People aren't, not buying cleaners for their house. They're not buying shampoo. Well, most people are not, of course, right? So you're just sharing with them a better product that's going to support their health, support their wellness, and ditch their chemical lifestyle, which is, I think, is really, really important to have that. So again, the essential kit, so the whole kit comes, it's $160, and it gives you a membership. So what the membership means, you have to think of it like Costco. You're going to get 24% off all your oils for a year, okay? It's for 1 year. And all you have to do to keep your membership, there's no monthly memberships, there's no monthly buys that you have to do. Although I'm going to tell you, as you start using the products, for me, it was like, okay, I started using their toothpaste, I started using their mouthwash. They had new dental floss. I mean, all these things that you don't even realize that you have this tube of Crest, and you read the back of it and you're like, really? I'm putting this in my mouth every day? Or what about your deodorant? I mean, that was a big one, right? I mean, when they look at breast tissue, what do they find in it? They find aluminum in breast cancer, right? Breast cancer tissue. Why? Because think about this, when you're putting antiperspirant on, most of them have aluminum in it, right? What happens to that lymph, right? It's that garbage, those toxicities are not being allowed out of the axilla area, and so it gets caught in this area. So having deodorant that's a healthy deodorant that actually allows the toxicity to still pass through and you not stink, which, listen, I get it. I don't want to stink either. I'm with patients all day. Of course, I'm not saying you need to stink. I'm saying there's a healthier way to not stink and not have more chemicals in your life, okay? So I think that's a really important thing. So anyway, so the kit is $160. You get 24% off all the oils. So you basically have a membership to Young Living, and all you have to do to keep your membership going every year is you order $50. Okay, if you choose not to, not a biggie. It just expires. So just so that there's no financial obligation to continue. If you're just happy with your starter kit and you just want to go there, that's totally fine. But if you decide, hey, Carrie, you're right. I didn't realize how much in my environment I have all these chemicals. Then we do provide support in our team where we can help you learn more about the oils, learn more about products that you might want to use. And if you decide to do that, they do give you lots of bonuses to being something called an essential reward. You go on essential rewards as a possibility for you. And what that is every month you can choose different products to try, and they give you free oils when you do that, and they give you increasing discounts. But again, there's no obligation to do that, but that is an option for you if you get your kit, as I suspect you shall, and that you say, wow, I can't, where was my life before these oils? Yes, I have become one of those people, and I'm telling you, you will too. Okay, so I think that's about it. I wanted to keep it to about 45 minutes, so I'm right around that time. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me. What I'll do is, after my video gets uploaded now to the site, I will post for you a link that you can use if you choose to get the starter kit today. And so with that starter kit, you can go ahead and put in your information. And hey, Beth Ann, how are you? You can go ahead and get that starter kit, and it'll give you the instructions on how to do that. And so I just want to, so let's see. We have Beth Ann, we have Lisa, we have Donna, and we have Catherine, right? Is anybody else here right in this moment? Because I'm putting you in a randomizer because I promised some free oil. Anybody else that I'm missing? Okay, I'm putting you guys in a randomizer. Lisa, Melon, Donna, Catherine, and Beth Ann. Okay, randomize. And the winner is Lisa. Hey Lisa, congratulations. Woo woo. You are getting a bottle of lime oil. So make sure that you message me on my... Oh, Ruth, you're here too. Great, nice to see you. So we'll go ahead and get that. Just go ahead and PM me, and I will make sure that I get that out to you wherever you are. Yay! I know, it's always fun, right? Does anybody else have any questions? Any questions out there? Well, I'm really happy that you guys came to visit me today, and I am so grateful to be able to share this with you. It's really been, you know, I talked yesterday on Facebook Live about my toolkit. It really has become a part of my life. I use my oils, you know, all day long for different things, and they really improve the quality of my life, and not just improve my health, they improve my emotional well-being. I'm also able to eliminate a ton of chemicals from my home, and that for me is worth it all. So thanks again for being here with me today. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want me to do more classes like this, I mean, we can pick different subjects. I'd be happy to do it. So let me know if you're interested in that, and I will be sure to deliver. Hope you guys have a fabulous day. Here's to getting our happy back. Bye.